We're here with John Hernandez, owner of Lightning Defense Academy in Crystal Lake, Illinois, and USCCA certified instructor. How did we get to today and owning this wonderful store,
Wow.
in the classroom over here?
Yeah. How do we get to today? Firearms, right? Well, having lived in Florida, through my teenage years, we have a pretty big place we can hunt and stuff out there, which is called the Everglades. And I remember as a teenager going out there and shooting rabbits and squirrels and birds and stuff like that. So probably got my first shotgun around the age of 16, 17 years old. And the love just continued from there. 21, I bought my first handgun, which I still own it, so I still have it. So just amassed a bunch more firearms and stuff. But I'm actually going to tell you, there was a point in time where I sold all my firearms, believe it or not. And that was when my kids were smaller, because back then I feel the education wasn't as good, and the safety. As a matter of fact, I still see it a lot of people that I train, older people, that, I got to constantly be telling them, muzzle management and finger off the trigger, and, and even as far as storage at home, I didn't have a safe, and all my firearms were stored in my bedroom. And one of my kids at the time was already a latchkey kid, 14, 15 years old, and I didn't feel safe. Him coming into the house and all the firearms were on, and I sold all my guns, believe it or not. And afterwards, a few years later, I ended up buying more again and started again, and bought a safe, which would have probably been the smart thing to do, but didn't have a safe back then. How did I get to today is kept moving on in life and getting, age was creeping up on me, and didn't want to teach martial arts anymore. Knew retirement was going to be close by. So about, no secret, I'm going to be 67, probably early 60s, I decided to take on this new venture and learn everything I could and become an instructor. And because I had been teaching, since 81, I knew that was a passion to me, and I wanted to be able to teach my second passion, which was firearms.
What's the most rewarding thing about teaching people about firearms?
Well, I really pride myself on taking that student that's a blank slate, that has never shot a firearm before, and be able to take that person and comes in here and says, I've never shot a firearm before. And with confidence be able to tell him, don't worry about it. You're going to do fine. And going through the USCCA classes and going through the basic handgun and going through the grip and going through sighting and going through the stance and going through trigger cycle and going through everything. When I see that person at the range and they look at me with that huge smile on their face that says, wow, I never thought I could do this, and there's a particular group that I prefer, and that's the ladies, the women. I feel that a woman in a handgun means empowerment. It means safety for them, and it's not to use other people's cliches. It's the equalizer. How do you stop a 250-pound man, 6'2", on a 5'3" woman that weighs 110 pounds? Can she do it with her hands? Maybe some could, but most can't. And I can tell you that as a martial arts instructor. And this firearm, well trained, let's make sure that that's a point in there, not just somebody who comes and takes that 16-hour class, because I tell everybody that's not enough. You have to continue training. And if they follow and they keep their training up, that would be what can stop that person in a critical incident.
What would you say would be the most difficult part about your job? Actually performing the job, or just the industry, or what's the most difficult part to get through for you?
There's not one particular one, but making people understand that they're not coming here for me to teach them how to have gunfights in the street, that they're coming here for me to teach them the proper use of a firearm. And these people, some want to come in here and they come with this mentality of being good Samaritans, you know. It's making people understand that the firearm is your last resort, that our mission as a civilian is to retreat, de-escalate, escape, and that you need to paint a picture in your mind of who this firearm is going to defend. What we would refer to as people under the mantle of your protection. And the question I ask my students is, who are you willing to die for, and who are you willing to go to jail for? Because anything that leaves your muzzle is your responsibility. And I feel that, I know it sounds selfish, but this is reserved to a very tight-knit group that I'm willing to protect. You know, the other thing I would have to do is make sure that I'm a good witness and call 911 and get other people the help that they need.
And it's important there, and you said it by referring to who you protect, and it's not what you protect.
Yes, yes, and that's another one. That would be more to the home defense side of the question. You know, explaining to people that it's not about stuff defense. We're not protecting property. We're not protecting items. You know, it's self-defense. It's about preservation of life and protecting those that you love and the lives you're going to defend.
As well as being the owner of Lightning Defense Academy, you're also a certified USCCA instructor. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
So I am a USCCA instructor, and I could have chosen other organizations to be certified as an instructor, but my choice with the USCCA is they're rather a young company, probably within the last 10 or 12 years. I looked at their curriculum. It's very sharp. It's very bright. Their PowerPoints are very modern. They're upgrading. They're a twofold company. The part I like the most is my passion, which is I'm a teacher, so it's education. So they educate on how being an instructor, and even for their members, they have their online platform where if you don't continue your training with an instructor, you can go online and gain a lot of knowledge from there. And the second part is they're a self-defense insurance company. I don't want this to sound like a commercial for them, but it's kind of me. It's kind of don't leave home without it, because if I am going to protect myself, I also have to protect myself legally and financially. You know, and that's what the USCCA does, is they give you legal and financial protection with their programs.
Yeah, because I mean, you have the actual incident itself, but people don't realize what happens after that incident.
Right.
And the long process after that you're going to have to experience and deal with, and it helps to have somebody who's familiar with it to be there to help you manage what happens after the incident.
Yeah, yeah. The everything leading up to it, through training and through a lot of restraint and a lot of practice and a lot of mental exercises and stuff. You probably pretty much got that down. Even with mental exercises, you should go over the aftermath. But the aftermath is kind of out of your control. You have put yourself in the hands of the media, you know, the judicial system, the jury. You're in their hands, you know, and there's no guaranteed outcome to that. You know, so you have to have the most protection and the best protection you could possibly have. And I feel that the USCCA affords that to people. My title actually with the USCCA is I'm a training counselor. And what a training counselor does is, let's say that somebody wants to become a certified instructor. They would come to me and they would take the class, and when they left my class, they would be certified as an instructor, which with that certification, you would be certified through the USCCA to teach in any state. And then if you're going to another state, you'd find out the laws in that state and follow whatever they need, and you can teach anywhere. So yeah, and it is kind of an honor, because the USCCA has 7,000 instructors nationwide, And yearly, they roughly select 100 to 120 USCCA instructors twice a year. The maximum class is 60, and that is how you become a training counselor. You just can't apply for it. You have to be selected. And I'm very proud to say that I was one of the USCCA selection.
Great. What USCCA classes do you guys teach here?
Um, so right now we're teaching the 16-hour Illinois concealed carry, which we're certified through the state to teach also. We also teach a first aid class. We also teach a women's class. We also teach a men's basic class. And we also teach a countering the mass shooter threat, which within that countering the mass shooter threat, we have different areas that we can cover. For example, like houses of worship, which has a separate curriculum that we can offer to them also. We do teach a woman's hand-to-hand course here too, occasionally, that I offer to my students, that can come to do that. And we're looking to expand, along with the expansion of Lightning Defense Academy, and some of the other instructors on board. We're looking to expand to AR-15 classes and defensive shooting classes and whatever else we can offer. We want to be that pro shop that you come in here and you're able to get whatever you're looking for.
Now, are the classes here, are they all classroom based, or is there any practical?
A lot of it is classroom based. Illinois does require live fire, so when you take your concealed carry in Illinois, you are required to go to the range, so we do have that. I have a follow-up class that I do for my students, which I try to keep that as affordable as possible to keep them training and not just going to the range and shooting down range at paper, where we work different drills. We'll work defensive drills. We'll work marksmanship drills, and we call that range day, and we try to do that once a month. Obviously, I don't let everybody into that group. You have to have certain level of skills because our number one concern here is safety.
All right. Well, John, this is the fun question part of the interview. Why don't you tell us just a little bit about your hobbies? I know you're a business owner, so you're pretty much working every day, all week long. But when you do have some downtime, what do you like to do?
Yeah, it'd be pretty strange if I didn't say my own firearms, right? Well, I like to hunt. I like to hunt with my boys, and I've known to go hunting with them. We do upland bird up here, and we'll do some bigger stuff like hogs and stuff like that. One of my dreams is to do deer, and I may do that year, but this year I'm considering taking up bow at my age, which is kind of fun. I think one of the challenges is going to be climbing up in a tree, but we'll see that when they get there. So hunting is one of my hobbies, and anybody that knows me is motorcycles is my second one. I've been riding a bike for many years, and a lot of years I was known to just jump on my bike and take a 1,000-mile trip, round trip, and just disappear on my bike for a week at a time. So my motorcycle is another big part of my hobby. And I don't know if I want to call him a hobby, but those of you guys that come into LDA, you guys all know Gustav, which is my Rottweiler. He's my companion, and honestly, he's my friend, and he goes with me, and he's with me everywhere I go. So I don't want to call him a hobby, but he's definitely one of my passions in my life.
Gotcha. And Gustav probably doesn't fit on the bike, huh?
That would be an amazing feat.
Yeah, that'd be funny to see you go down the street. That's for sure.
Yeah.
All right, John. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. If people want to learn more about Lightning Defense Academy, where should they go?
Well, you can go online. You go to www.ldaonlinestore.com. We are located in downtown Crystal Lake here at 370 West Virginia Street. If you guys are old-fashioned, want to give me a call, it's 224-253-9598. I'm always willing to pick up the phone and have a good conversation with people, So we're open 7 days a week, Love to stop on by.
Great. All right, John. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Todd.